Alright, this is the Airtronics RD6000 8000 series. The Sawa, same thing. The new 2.4 Airtronics, it's all going to be the same programming and interface. This is just to show basically how the Airtronics programs. And a lot of people say it's easy. A lot of people haven't seen it. You can look at a manual, but it's just not the same. So anyway, this is it. This is modified. I just put a 3-cell LiPo in it, and I did put the ASAN 2.4. I modified this one to 2.4. So anyways, when we turn it on, that second beep was the ASAN. Normally you just hear the one little beep that you heard initially. So right now we're just on the home screen, and to get back to the home screen, which just shows you my PBF, which is the model that I'm flying, at 11.3 volts, which is the battery still remaining in the 3-cell LiPo. As you can see, the trim for the elevator over here on the right, you can kind of see where they're at. Throttle trim, which is buried down here at the bottom. Rudder trim, etc. All 4 trims are right around the edges. And these are digital trims. They just make a little click. And as you can see over there on the far right, if you hold it down, once you get in the center, 0 trim, it'll beep once, and you can keep going past that. Anyway, real simple to adjust the trims, and good visual to see it. We can see what mode we're in, F mode, PPM currently. Up here in the top left we got Model 3, which happens to be the PBF, and it's in aero mode, not heli mode. The main navigation is towards the top. You've got it up here where it says CH, and then here's your arrow keys, up, down, left, right. Yes and no are right here. And then end. Really, these are going to be the main ones that you're going to end up using. I never used F mode. I'm not sure what that does, but I've never used it in a year and a half and 25 models later. So basically you do left and right, and as you can see at the very, very top, we got elevator, push it again, aileron, throttle, rudder, gyro, PF, and then etc. Now etc. is where all the really geeky mods are for this current Model 3. But if I go over to, say, elevator, and then I use the down function, basically it's a navigation of across and then down, and each section, elevator, rudder, etc. across the top, they have a hierarchy, and you go down, you drill down through it. So with elevator, I'll go down, I got trim, reverse. Now for instance, if I want to reverse that, I can do yes and no, yes or no. Now while I'm in here, if I want to reverse that channel, I can go over to the right, I can go side through the hierarchy. So if elevator, if I want to reverse that, I can go over to the aileron and reverse that, just straight over. Instead of going all the way up and then over and then back down, you can go straight across through the mapping system. So under elevator, I can keep going down. I got dual rates, expo, again yes and no to increase and decrease. EPA, and point adjustment, again. You have your your elevator. You can see which one I'm going to adjust just by moving that arrow. Right now it's on down 140%. Push up, it's at 100%. I can say yes or no again to either one of those. Keep going down. Some of these I'm not so sure. Fail and knit, I don't get super geeky with them. I just do all the basics. All the way at the top, whenever you're at the top, it always gives you, just shows you the stopwatch. Doesn't, because that's for the whole model. Going over to throttle, again, go back down, you got your trim, your reverse, EPA, throttle cut, fail and knit. Not quite as many options. Now if I go all the way over here, to etc., if I go down, I got model select, and that's where I'd say yes, and it starts flashing. And then I start hitting yes and no to go through all my different models. And these electronics, they hold 8 different models, but I can go through, keep hitting yes, and scroll all the way through, and it just goes right back to number 1 and back through all through 8. I'll go back to the PBF again, hit no to go back down, and when you're done, you just hit end, and then I'm on model 3. Hit end again, and end takes you to the home screen, shows me my stopwatch. Hit end again, there's the absolute home. But if I want to get back to the stopwatch, I can just hit left or right, it doesn't matter. Now when it's on the stopwatch, that's when I can just hit yes, and it starts counting down my timer. I can hit no, or I'm sorry, hit yes again, and that pauses it. If I want to reset it, I just do yes and no, and that's a reset back to, for this model, 9 minutes. So I'll come back, let me go back over to etc. And again, this scroll at the very top, you can go back and forth or scroll all the way through. Doesn't matter which way you go. Go back down to etc. And now I can come down, and then there's my name to name this model 3 that I'm on, and I can hit yes, or I'm sorry, hit over to the right, and then that starts highlighting the characters. And you just use the arrow keys to go to each character, and yes and no to go up through the different letters. When you're done, again, just hit end, and you're done. Let me go back down through etc. Another one that I use, especially for my delta wings, is I'll do, there's type, where you could do heli or arrow, swash reverse. But I use copy often. Now what you want to do on these models is go to the one that you want to copy from, like this one, 3, and I can choose 3 to copy this, all the settings, 3 to model 5. It's going to copy everything, even the name. So when you're done, you go change the name on number 5 or whatever, and then you've got the exact same settings. Reset, just to reset all settings for this model. Mode, PP, PPM, PCM, whatever. Flap, spoileron, delta is active. This is a delta wing. VTEL knit, aerial diff. I'm not so sure on some of these. Basic off. By default, basic is on. So whenever you go through the etc. stuff, a lot of that stuff's not showing, so you just don't have to see it. Go through all these different options. Anyway, we go back to the home, just hit end down here in the bottom right, and there's my stopwatch ready to go. It's done. Now what I like about this model is when you turn it off, there's no sound or beeps, it just goes off. I don't know, the RD6000 makes another beep when you turn it off. It's kind of annoying. You can turn it on. That one beep that you heard, that's actually the Asan. That one beep is the default one beep, and that's the Asan arming. But anyway, just go across the top and then down into these and yes and no to change things. It's pretty cut and dry. I mean, it took me a while to figure out, but once you mess with it a little bit, the electronics is really easy for me to navigate and program now. So I kind of prefer its navigation over other more complicated and more functioning transmitters. But again, that's the electronics series. The RD6000, 8000, they're all going to be about the same. Anything with this LCD up here and these arrow buttons down here, that's how it's going to work. So anyway, that's it.